the end of the day, these players are playing for themselves and not us, the spectator. But all I ask for, Vince, is more of the same. Give us a showing Chaos that proves you can make the upset, and Liquid, look good, please. You guys have much more to prove than beating Chaos, but if they do it too convincingly, well, that won't be very fun. So let's buckle into Inferno, folks. It's myself and Vince to bring you what could be the final map of our day here at DreamHack Open Summer 2020 North America. It's Team Liquid on the CT side with lots of utility to hold Chaos at bay.
What we know is the loser of this best of three definitely won't be their last map of the tournament. This is no elimination match. It just gives them that leapfrog ahead, as Freya said, to the semi-finals. And the pistol is upon us. Liquid CT side. Interestingly, this is their choice, so I assume that means Chaos picked the T side to kick things off. So I wonder what Steel has up his sleeve. I assume they'd be starting on CT side. That isn't the case.
Some sort of voodoo magic. Steel's brain, it's gotten too big. Or maybe it'll all work out. Time will tell. Stewie's one smoke, all that's left over for Liquid, so I alluded to the utility, but they dropped it pretty quick. Chaos going to throw theirs over top and start the entry into this B bomb site. Stewie gives up what he had in the Coffin's control, looking to catch players on their cross, perhaps. But we got ourselves a good old 10-man retake. Oh, except for Naf.
He's gone down just to ruin your point, Scrawny. How very unfortunate. But Vanity is going to be coming in for another one. Stewie 2K is going to bite the dust, courtesy of that Glock headshot. Now Grim instantly headshot round the corner from Lee, finished off. Not only is it the pistol round win, it is a clean sweep. A declaration from Steel and Chaos.
That's the T side that they'd hoped to start with, seeing as they may have chosen to be here. Galil's bought right off the back of it. What do Team Liquid decide to do? Pistols forced by, as you'd expect. Another one of those rounds where, Chaos had faced this across Mirage on multiple occasions, and Team Liquid reminded them who's boss. Not always with the actual full-fledged upset, but definitely damage done. We got the look at Grim and Nafly over on the B side of Mirage. That was the CT setup for the newcomer of Liquid. Well, he's working with Stewie here on B yet again. He gets the back turned to him thanks to Jonji, and look at those pistols go. He completely wrecks space with that 5-7. It's all on Leaf, and he's going to die to Naf as he just creeps around the side of the smoke. Big play by Grim, set up by Stewie.
A real bruh moment if you're Chaos as well. Like, you just get plastered. Beautiful flashbang. Again, often flashes go under the radar, but that flashbang from Stewie allows Grim to get the 2-5-7 headshots. Unreal. And Chaos instantly on the back foot, instantly reeling off the back of that. They have to go in for a force, and it's going to be pistols. And Liquid, healthy dosage of grenades with a couple of M4s thrown in for good measure. Elige using one of them to peer down middle and see if he can maybe pierce in for a kill or two and get some information. The rest of his teammates, Nafly now going to get tested. They line up and he sprays them both out of their misery. Alongside Elige, they picked the wrong place to fight. Chaos. Maybe Leaf can punish Twists. There we go, finally gets it done and still alive, just about. With 58 HP with Nafly breathing down his neck. Who should finish him off sooner rather than later, but this is a really awkward engage, and finally whips out the M4 and puts it down range for the kill. Chaos in a 1v3. It's Steel who has control of the bomb to try and pull off something truly remarkable. But listen, as good as Steel has been, by the way, he's one of their best performing players on Mirage, pardon me. I just don't really see this happening. Unless he can maybe get this first pick on Naf. He finds him, but then Stewie straight back with the Galil, and Liquid take the lead.
Poor Naf has his knees taken out. I respect Nafly's honor in the sidearm duel to the death, but when push came to shove, he whipped that big old Colt right back out and shut down the hopes of Chaos. Good attempts by Leaf. The fickle mistress that can be the Tech 9 sometimes feels like it's broken, and then other times feels like it's actually broken.
Yeah.
So really hit or miss.
I feel like you get tilted playing with the Tech 9, whether you're playing with it or against it, feels in this perpetual state of tilt whenever a Tech-9's around. I have the same feeling with the CZ. I just can't figure it out.
No, that's why I just buy P250s now, Vince. I've stopped trying.
Agreed.
I've stopped trying. If I'm really feeling myself, maybe I get one of them Huandigs out and running. But in this round, we barely have any pistols for Chaos to even work with. So you just have to take this one. Steel and Leaf will have the P250s. Double run boost. Launch them over. Oh, no. They get cut down in the mid-process of it all. The CTs clamp down on it. Can't we have a little fun?
It's like one of those cartoons, like Roadrunner or something, where they try and jump and there's just like this invisible window.
Yeah.
And they just slap across it and then their face rolls down it. So they just die.
It's funny. Stewie hits him with the lol in the all chat. Vanity responds with, "It worked last time." Clearly not this time, my friend. But they've got themselves more to work with, Vince. They have themselves the full-fledged buy.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not go for something a little bit wacky when you have basically nothing invested? Have a good laugh about it. Now Chaos going with the AKs. Just 2 smokes to their name, though. Could be a bit of an issue. It doesn't allow them to really run for strats like fakes. That is the downside of having a lack of utility. You have to be a little bit more dimensional when it comes to your executes. Steel, veteran player, very smart guy. I'm sure he has a couple of ideas to try and pivot into, but at the moment they're just keeping Leaf lurking in apps, looking for some rotations perhaps, while the rest of this team go up on Banana and look to see if they can maybe go for that execute. But late grenades are going to keep them at bay. Well placed incendiary with a smoke behind it.
Stewie's playing a dangerous game, fully flashed, gets back just in time. But that could have been the entry. What worries me is knowing that on Mirage, you know, the whole equation for Chaos was there. John G had his lights out performance. Zeppa and the side of Leaf also performed. Steel had those clutches. He was their highest fragger. Vanity looked great on the op, and it still wasn't quite enough because we know that the ceiling of Team Liquid is just unarguably higher. So now that we're over on this map choice of Liquid, we're starting to see Chaos maybe stutter step. 2 kills back for Steel to equalize that of Elysian Grim, but the health is not anywhere near equal. What works well in this situation is Steel. He can look to cut off the rotate from A to B. So it's all on the shoulders of Stewie 2K. But he's won a major from this position. And he tries his damnedest to cut them down, but with literally 1 second left, they will find their bomb plant. It's a 2 versus 2 that ensues, but health advantage still belongs to Liquid.
Elish has spotted Vanity darting over on the coffin side of the site. They know where one of the 2 remaining straggling T's are. And Vanity goes in for the peek, and in the blink of an eye, both of Chaos have theirs permanently closed. Liquid going to take a 4th round. And yeah, I completely agree. I think most people could say it's inarguable that Liquid, in terms of like a player-by-player basis, are just the highest skill level. And while they're going through this transitional phase with Moses coming in and obviously Grim also stepping into the roster recently, maybe the way for Chaos, like an avenue, a key to success, is just having superior tactics and be able to execute a little bit better and maybe position Liquid, this game of chess in Counter-Strike, like try and move them into positions where they're more vulnerable. And that's why when you go in for buys and you only have 2 smokes, it does worry me a little bit more for Chaos. I feel like maybe they need more utility rather than firepower.
Sure, I think that's a fair state. Little technical issue. Nobody fret. Don't stress. You got any good Moses stories, Vince, that you can think of? I'm trying to find I'm thinking of the ones that I'm allowed to tell people.
That's what I was about to say.
I keep scratching them off. Yeah. Not that he's, some kind of monster, but
No, like some of my best memories of Moses, it feels like we're talking about him like he's no longer with us. He probably will come back to casting at some point. But I mean, some of my fondest memories are just sitting with him at like some of the DreamHack summers and just having a few chill beers and just talking about just life. Like, sure. He's a super chill guy. He's very, very easy to get on with. So those are probably my best memories of him, to be honest.
I wonder if this means that we'll never get another creamy Moses.
I doubt we'd have got one anyway.
Okay.
I think that's a blip on his
Let's see if we can will this into existence, all right? The first time Yanko plays versus Moses, FaZe versus Liquid, the grand finals of grand finals. Loser eats a cream pie. Right to the face, on stage.
I feel like the two of them are going to have to agree to this, but I'm down for that.
All right.
I'm definitely down to see that happen.
It's called peer pressure, Vince. See what we can manage. Let's see what Team Liquid can manage as well here over top of the lackluster buy of Chaos. John G's going to get flashed out from the boiler room, trying to get closer towards Pit. And wow, this is quick. Nafly never saw it coming. And because they had so little to work with, they could afford getting this hyper-aggressive, take a massive risk, twist in Pit with just the one. It's a man advantage up for Chaos as they hang on to the post plant. They're starting to reacquire weapons, and Elige gets off the side. Stewie, can he deny with a 1v3? He's flashed. And they're not going to go for the hit. Oh, total peak, but Jonji on the op. 3 kills for him. An audacious Mac 10 play. Going into that round, he had 20 ADR, and he just swept away the A-hold off of the tech pause. That's sneaky. That's snaky. That's steal.
I love it. It kind of goes into what we were talking about before. Listen, if you're not going to win these prolonged engagements where you're taking 1v1 duels, you're on the T side. Make it unfair. Just swarm the side. As good as Liquid are, if you have 5 players pushing 1, unlikely he survives. And the Liege, bit of a desperation play as their buy is minimal at best. He's going to go down to steal. Jonji taking a little bit of damage as well in the process. It's a 2-2 formation, but Liquid mobile enough that they can rotate those 2 players over on B. Plus, they do have an M4 in play in the hands of Twists. So if they want to hold on to this for the next round, it would do them well to save it. It's looking good for Chaos. Gotta say, I'm getting similar kind of feelings to the start of Mirage, where it got a bit out of control, and they bounced back. The first half finished very, very well.
A lane completely open. Just don't go to Arch. Maybe the Arch players go to them. Twist, he's gonna find this peak perfectly timed, but Zeppa deals with it swiftly. Steel also there to lend a helping hand if needed, but it was just that one rifle for Twist. So a single kill is something Chaos can easily handle. And the last 2 members of Team Liquid will be looking to maybe rob some weapons away from their underdog opponents. But these underdogs are doing a good job on this T side. There was early momentum for them. There was an early chance off of the pistol round win, the force buy, and Grim's 3K. Well, that's why Team Liquid have the majority of the rounds that they do. And Chaos, once we get back into the gun rounds, finds themselves right back on track. Again, don't forget how they get here, Vince. That straight up A rush off the Mac 10s following the tech pause. Very good call to just crank the dial, catch Team Liquid sleeping, and force them to go onto the pistols. But that one round of pistols has come to a conclusion, and now they bounce back with the full buy. Naf, you'll be limited on utility, but he does have the sniper. And we've seen that actually get passed around Team Liquid. I'm okay with that. You know, this roster hasn't had a dedicated sniper for quite some time, and I think the talent runs deep.
Yeah, I totally agree. We'll get back onto that point in a second because we may have a lot of action kicking off Banana. The T's at least were thinking about pushing this. Stewie's spraying up through the smoke, gets one, but Zappa straight back onto Grim. Look at the damage though. The Vanity and Zappa both wrecked as they persevere and push up Banana. Twist off angle. Thought he had that in the bag. I'm sure he did too, but he's actually whiffed out on his chance and the AWP shot goes right from Naf. So Chaos have a chance at it one more time, putting Liquid down and breaking their economy and their spirit.
A site's evacuated. This is a save. They've already just called it off. They had to. Oh boy. This round really makes me reminisce back to Mirage, where remember when Grim was playing on B site, App's door, he peeks into the smoke, does like 300 damage, but only gets the 1 kill. And then because of Steel's quick entries, they just almost walk away with the win, but Elige clutches 1v1. Again, such little HP left over, where if Grim had just connect 1 bullet more on both Vanity and Zeppa, he looks like a god on the side of that top banana smoke with a 3-piece. Instead, Team Liquid just that close to closing versus Chaos. Instead, it's Chaos to close the lead and tie this one at 4 apiece. Once more, they have survivors, so the money is really starting to rack up here for the T side of Chaos, and that is very good for them because it was the CT side that got Liquid so convincingly in the lead on map 1. Chaos doing the early damage, wanting to just lean back on their defensive half to maybe get it over the line. Not an easy decision to start this one off here on offense. Buyback from each side. Grim limited to the MP9. A FAMAS in the mix for Twists. 1 kit on NAF. Keep your eyes on that in case a bomb site falls. An exchange of grenades towards Banana that leaves Grim slightly wounded. Now he's being burned. 10 HP left over. He is not long for this world. Steel just burns him. Stewie 2K also at half health. So in the grand scheme of things, Chaos comes out on top of that utility exchange.
Chaos looking to push in and shatter this B defense and has been successful on those endeavors. Jonji and Zeppa, pretty straightforward kills in the end. Liquid may have to go and save this AWP for NAF. Twists alongside him with the FAMAS, but there is a player in the form of Leaf that is once again lurking around in the shadows, looking to skulk in to try and take a couple of these guns away. One weapon denied would have dire consequences for Liquid going into the 10th round. And he's having a look now. He may find Twists out in the open. He's just in the alcove next to Library. Leaf is checking into Pit. Nothing there just yet. And because Twists is stuck with his back to the wall in alcove and unlikely to peek out of here because NAF is watching the retreat from the site, he should be okay. There's no need to peek this, but in comes Leaf, and he actually has got the kill. For a moment I thought he'd whiffed, and that's an AK-47 that he also picks up. So a nice little upgrade at the end for Liquid, but it is Chaos taking the lead.
I could slowly hear your soul leaving your body, Vince, when Twists almost drops that kill.
Right.
It was close, but he manages. AK upgrade made easy. Up for NAF, and another one on Vanity, who apparently is now the primary opper for Chaos. Excuse me. I said he, had value as the double sniper because Steel has had that role. But clearly, our man Vanity looking to make big moves. Keep our eyes on it. Zeppa wasting no time to get onto the balcony. Twist is trying to manage a wild spray. Catches the head onto Jonji. Elige with a kill of his own, but it's Leaf and Steel to claw it back, and smoke spam works out great. NAF from the library door, shut down by Vanity, who had one chance, one shot, one opportunity to get that kill in library. And it leaves it on Grim. Oh, and he gets hit by the sniper the moment he shows up. He just wants to now tuck tail. That shot from Vanity doesn't secure the kill, but it does secure the round.
Oh, that certainly does. And he may get the kill anyway. Grim tries to escape into the ruins, and his life is cut short. That means that in terms of weaponry, you're looking at not much more than a few pistols littered around here and there. But the whole AWPing situation on Liquid, something that we touched on a bit earlier on, it is an interesting one because it kind of gives you freedom in some respects that sometimes you can play AWPing depending on who prefers playing the AWP on those maps. It's not like an AWP has to play AWP every single time, or you can base it off spawns. This is something that happens quite a bit on Dust 2. You see AWPers like give the best spawn on long on T side to go for a quick peek. I think it allows Liquid to be more fluid in that respect, And that's something that could be really interesting to watch. Under Moses' coaching style, does that change? Does it stay the same?
Oh, there's so many questions to be asked still about Liquid. And that's, just knowing that this is all still so fresh. Grim's debut 3 days ago. Moses' debut tonight. It's not going to be an easy process. Which is why it's so exciting, Vince, that we have the honor of watching the first pages be written here and now. NAF. Ooh, nice deagle. 2 headshots off of the arch side. Elige with a double deagle as well. Blink and you'll miss it. And that's the reality check for Chaos. You've got a 2-round lead. You've got weapons over top your opponents. And that's when you forget just what you're playing against. One of the best of North America. The brackets clamp, but they could still line up. Oh, if they had. Leaf's AK could have just sung, but instead he sinks. Chaos gonna lose one round of their lead thanks to Nafly and Elige on the deadly Desert Eagles.
I feel like this is going to be one of those games where if Chaos end up slipping out of this half and they concede like 9-6 or just end up losing this map, they'll think 2 of the CT rounds, at least for Liquid, were in these force buy, eco kind of situations with pistols. They've lost out to that twice now, Scrawny. This is actually a possibility that we're looking at like a 7-4, 8-4 lead for Chaos. Had a couple things gone slightly different.
How much more cautious will they be when it comes to taking mid? You'd think they have to be. Twists in pit. One of his best positions. Elige laying down some smoke here towards Arch, trying to corral Chaos through short side instead. We've got Naf in the back of the bomb site on the op. Elige could find timing on a spray. Oh, the flashbang misses. The flashbang misses. Vanity. He threw a dud. Steel and Seppo walk right into their deaths. Oh, and Leafy takes damage through the wall. Nafly follows with a following shot. And oh, that one stings.
Yeah, it's going to feel like a gut punch from Mike Tyson, to be completely honest, because it was all Chaos's own doing. A failed whiffed flashbang, freebies for Elige. He couldn't believe his luck. Couldn't believe how simple that was. And then Nafly, as a result of the fact that Elige didn't die, like think of this, think of the domino effect of it's like chaos theory, like the butterfly effect, right? If Elige dies and there's 2 players left, Naf is not wall banging that position to kill. There's no way he's doing that because he's vulnerable. Yep. So that one play costs 3 lives, costs the round. This is Counter-Strike. It's why it's so beautiful. It can be so devastating all at once.
And you saw the timing on that flash. Elige, you know, he just still had eyes on the corner. It pops too far out of his peripheral. They were hoping for a doozy. Instead, they got the dud. Luckily for Chaos, they can still bounce back with a lead here in the first half, but they've got the guns to do so. Twists in no man's land. Finds the headshot into Steel. The top fragger for Chaos. Stewie 2K posted on the angle. Nearly finds the timing on that op shot. Would have given him the 5v3. Grim deeper back into the depths of the bomb site. Stewie goes for another peek. Perfectly timed. Vanity's flash hits the mark, but it's just not quite enough. Stewie is too good now. Vanity wary of the mid push, but these counter-terrorists content to sit back and just wait in their bomb sites. Again, it was the CT side of Mirage that really got Liquid into victory lane. The start of this one looked like it had Chaos's name written all over it, but again, Team Liquid, if you just give them an inch, they will force a mile. Leaf's going to round these arch side corners looking for the entry, but again, look how tucked they are. CT's not giving anything away because they're doing the inverse. I said they'd make a mile off the inch. They'll give no wiggle room to Chaos whatsoever. Leaf 1 HP. Naf just playing around with him as Elige finishes it off with the 2K. He's now up to 11 frags on his own, and it's Liquid back in the lead.
Impressive stat as well for Steel, 12 and 9. Top fragging on his team, but actually top fragging on either team. Even with his squad behind by 1 round. And it seems like Liquid, they had their early half jitters, but now they're coming over them and they're stronger than before. Jonji and Zeppa taking damage from the grenades. Now a Molotov burning Zeppa within an inch of his life. And Stewie 2K may start to wrap around with that AWP and lay down some waste. There we have it. 3 players push in. He nearly gets the collateral. Goes back in for more. Knows he's going to be chased down. To survive and take 2 kills, pretty impressive. And alleviates the pressure for Naflight to come in. And that Deagle shot was slick. Liquid 8-6 lead.
Yeah, that Deagle shot's like a cinder block to the back of the head. You felt the connection on that one. And I feel like Stewie, props. He knew he was being chased down, and he jumped back around those corners, grabbing 2 of them with the op. If it didn't take 8 seconds to build his sidearm, he would have had a chance at cutting down the 3rd as well. But luckily, Naf was there to shut it all down himself. All right, 15th and final round of the first half. Chaos, they string 5 rounds or 4 rounds together in the middle of it all. Confirmed 5. It's pistol round and 5 in the middle of the half. That's what makes up their 6th round count. Can they finish the half the way they started with just 1 anomaly? Doesn't start well for them early. John G, 75 health, gone down the drain. Actually 77. You know what I mean.
Is that what you imagine Twitch chat to sound like?
Yeah, something like that. Love you guys.
Smoke out onto the balcony. Molotov behind it does actually go deep enough not to get extinguished. So that's good news for Liquid. At least stops Leaf from being a pain in the backside. Utility is dwindling now for Chaos. They have 3 smokes. They just toss one out. And Stewie decides to peek in. Gets the kill. Darts out of there. And if they do chase him too hard, he does have the feedback and the cover from Grim to work with. But he may not need Grim. He may be just a one-man army at this point. Grim still patiently waiting in position as Stewie misses another shot, and now Grim spins into action. 2 frags to his name, make it a 3rd, make it 9-6.
And that's where we'll leave it. Join us after the break for the second half to see if Chaos can claw back.
How hard can you go? How hard can you go? Go. How hard can you go? How hard can you go? Go. How hard can you? How hard can you? How hard can you? How hard can you go? How hard can you go when the beat drop? Drop.
There is still most certainly a chance, as much of a chance as there ever was for Chaos across this series. They've kept themselves close enough to contend, and I respect the fact that they start off on the offense, Vince. Maybe now it gets easier. Maybe here they can relax a little bit, but I wouldn't. Not knowing that Liquid has something in store for us. It's to the top of Banana they'll go, and Zeppa shuts down Grim. Nice flashbang from Vanity. He's been a savior at times. Oh, they all die. Zeppa and Jonji, they fill out the full house.
Sweet Jesus. What did I just witness there? Zeppa, that's some pristine aim, and then Jonji just steps up afterwards to help him out. Great work. And that was one of the quickest pistols I think I've ever seen. Pretty lights out stuff. So Liquid on the back foot straight away. They go for full Glocks. Not a single piece of weaponry or utility, not a single penny or cent has been spent. And they're going to be waiting for that next round. So what can they feasibly do with Glocks? They may just play it slow and try and draw out some grenades. That's always a valuable strat when you consider that, it all adds up. You can probably get a good $1,000, $2,000 out of the CTs just through these incendiaries and smokes if you play it correctly. And if you get really lucky, maybe get a kill on a bomb plant. But yeah, it's looking pretty scarce in terms of options.
Yeah, not even one flash. Not even one BT-50. Really looking to make the magic happen. Jonji and Zeppa. Gonna shut that one right down. Come back and try again with guns.
Credit to Chaos as well, Lescrony. They didn't go overboard with their utility. They actually held on to a lot of it. So
yeah, good point.
The point that I was kind of raising about getting like a couple thousand, out of them didn't happen at all. So they're looking pretty solid in terms of economy, but they have to deal with this AK buy now. This is what it's all been about. It's all well and good saving that $1,000 of utility, but if you then just go and sprawl out and get wrecked here, it's for nothing. 4-player stack early on B, leaving just Vanity alone. But Liquid not going to be fast enough to capitalize on that.
No, there was a window towards that A site where Team Liquid, had they known, they would have just run rampant through Vanity. And I would have rather be anywhere else in the world other than his position. But that window now closed. Jonji and Zeppa here. Two heavy hitters for Chaos, looking to work their way down into the closer corners of Banana. But obviously Team Liquid, they'll be aware of this possibility. Sometimes one of these corners is occupied, but the fact that both are held, maybe it comes in big. Jonji doesn't wait. Grim insta-trade. Stewie, he had his eyes forward, and he did his job in clearing that closest of corners. Look at the rest of the counter-terrorists, Vince. They know that this one's gone already. They just have to concede.
Yeah, with crossfires like that, I really like the idea, but they're actually very dangerous in the respect that the first player that takes the first point, which is always going to be the left-hand side guy because it's slightly further forward and therefore easier to check, he has got to get one kill. Because if he dies straight away, the best case is probably a 1-for-1 trade, and that means 2 players have died on B, ultimately meaning the B site is ripe for the taking. So you see in that trade, yeah, cool, the second player gets a kill, but it really doesn't matter. They've already taken the site. They've already taken Banana control.
Careful, buddy. You don't want to lose those other 2 weapons. Look like they were going to walk away with 3. And Liquid, they're not in that comfortable enough position to go haphazardly rampaging towards a FAMAS and AK-47. Concede it. Let it slide. Even then, the buy won't be fantastic. For Chaos, that is. Team Liquid sitting pretty. First pause called by Chaos, 19 rounds deep.
Yeah, an understandable one at that. For the very reason you just highlighted, their economy, albeit enough to get a buy, not ideal. So they're going to have to think about how much do they want to prioritize an AWP. Steel has enough to afford one. Double AWPs work wonders for them on Mirage. Inferno is an entirely different ball game. You can feasibly hold it down with no AWPs, but of course the AWP is going to be very powerful, so Vanity is going to get one of those. And now they look to try and get whichever little bits of utility that they can build behind that AWP. You can see Steel's got a smoke and a flashbang. But 3 incendiaries should be decent. They have an AK-47 they were able to save. So although their economy is not fantastic, especially if they concede this, it's definitely good enough to have a real go at this 40.
No shots connect off that one. No risks even really being taken much by Chaos. Just hanging on. And that's okay. You don't need to fight for that banana control, especially when you know that Liquid like to go from 0 to 10 on it. Think back to when they had that deep control with the crossfire. It wasn't just Stewie who ran in, but Grim and a teammate right behind him. So if that's the kind of presence and attention that Liquid will give to banana retakes, don't run the risk. Sit back, relax on your bomb site, and then still disrupt their offense by throwing these utilities over the top. For all they know, they're taking that banana flank right now. Minute mark. Steal. Are you gonna fit a flashbang through that crack? Looks likely. There she goes. Did you know about that?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times. Not many players seem to use it, though.
Just me, the noob, I guess. Just me.
Oh, steal. Oh my goodness. I get so much information, but he whiffs the first shot. You could see he was spoilt for choice. But I know he is going to be bitterly disappointed with himself that he didn't get at least 2 out of that.
Ooh, Leaf, though, he's ready to stop it all. Can he? Can he? He got the first. But Nafly's going to shut him down. So just like Steel, a chance at more than just one. Vanity, nice shot. 7 seconds left. He extends into the hit versus twist. That could have been the kill. But instead, we get the Canadian duo back in another post plant, looking for the clutch, looking for the route that was opened by Steel dropping the ball. Another headshot off of the AKs. Here comes Zephyr, burning to a crisp. Naf gets him from beyond the grave, and Team Liquid keep the ball rolling.
Oh, Chaos, they had chances there, Scrawny. That's the difficult one to watch. You had Steel with that flank, and then thought Leaf was going to do it. And then it was a 3v2. They actually had the player advantage. In that retake did Chaos, but still not able to muster it up. And now their economy in shambles. Got an MP9, not that much they can realistically get behind this. And of course, if they force here and concede, then the future is very bleak indeed, because Liquid will be stomping towards the finish line. And after winning the first map, that would be lights out for this best of 3. So Chaos tread very lightly on this decision.
Now the pressure really starts to mount. Again, we kind of hit that point just like we did on Mirage. You know, we've got the back and forth. We've got the big individual showings at times of the players on Chaos. We know Liquid are still ahead, both literally and in terms of expectations. But now I think reality starts to creep up on Chaos and tap them on the shoulder. They see defeat catching up with them. They're trying to outrun it, Vince. But their shoes are untied, and around like this, just the MP9 on Jonji, nobody else even has Kevlar. And once more, we've got Team Liquid maybe sussing out that A site. The only thing over there is Leaf, with nothing invested, looking backwards in the graveyard. Grimmy's gonna get chased. Jonji, nice. Just runs rampant down Banana, gets himself the upgrade on the gun, but again, this is what's left on that A site. Poor Leaf. Still hasn't moved a muscle. Maybe they only hunt by movement. That's his hope. But a second kill from Jonji as he picked up that AK, and they still haven't figured out Leaf. There it is. Twist, keeping his crosshair on his head. He pops right up into it. Jonji has been one of the heaviest hitters across this series, but he goes down. I thought maybe the AK could put more into fruition. Instead, it's an awful situation for just Vanity. He gets his hands on a Galil, not the AK he'd hoped for, and just has to walk away from this. A 12th round for Team Liquid, but one that you absolutely had to have expected, considering Chaos had so little. Props to Jonji for taking Banana by control. But other than that, it all falls to the expectations, and we get slowly but surely closer to the end.
I enjoyed watching that round from like a strategical viewpoint though, because Liquid had a really cool anti-eco setup. maybe anticipating that Chaos would be into a low buy and may try some shenanigans down Banana. They were very, very passive. They threw an early counter flash, but then what was cool is Chaos realizing they'd taken no Banana control, because in previous rounds they typically splash, you know, nade, Molotov it. They just pushed down there really aggressively afterwards, anticipating that in the best case scenario, maybe they catch them all flanking from, you know, Banana and middle towards A, which they kind of did anyway. And if there's a player down there, you can pick up their weapon and use it against the oncoming T's. So I really like that from Chaos. It didn't quite work out for them, but now they have that buy. Double nading towards the logs. No one's there. Liquid have given up Banana again. And so all these grenades basically do nothing. Look at how much utility Chaos just spent. So many grenades for very little in return. And they've just lost that as well from Elige. It's all gone crumbling down. Chaos, try as they may, they just can't withstand the hyper-aggressive plays from Elige.
Yeah, I think it's starting to become painfully apparent that Team Liquid are simply the better team, Vince. They've got the better players. And just in the same way that the favorites of Group B, Inferno, just dismantled their opposition, gave them chances here and there because their opponents are skilled, surely. But, I mean, look at who can compete with the one-tap dirt nap like that. Elige just executing the final frag. And Team Liquid getting us closer and closer. And all the while, Chaos, they just keep limping into these rounds with whatever they can afford. But an armored Mag 7 on Jonji. We saw him with an MP9 go down Banana and nearly make something out of a round. And with this early damage off of the grenades, the other tools that they had to work with have done their job. Oh, baby. Mag 7 up close. Ka-thunk. Down goes Grim. Jump shot connects. Another bit of damage. Jonji lucky to be alive here. He tries to dip back, but Nap has none of that. Get out of here. And inside balcony, Elige executes 2. Stu gives cover, and it's all on Vanity. A 14th round for Team Liquid in inevitability. There it is.
My Elige is ruthless. He takes no prisoners. Chaos walk into the bedroom, white flags held high. He doesn't care. He's taking none of that. 14-8, Chaos. This is really, for me, their last chance. They've got the double ops. This is what turned the tides over on Mirage, made them a real formidable CT side. Vanity's been eerily quiet on this map. So maybe the double ops are where things start to change the Chaos, where they can get it back in their favor, but not with flashbangs like that. And in the blink of an eye, 3 players are massacred. And B site wide open. Chaos may think about saving already. Vanity gets 1, but it's a consolation kill at best. And if he stays in position, there's maybe a way that Stewie gets the better of him. He shouldn't at this kind of a range, but the smoke's gone down. Stewie baiting out the shot, forces Vanity slightly back. And elsewhere, Leaf has been plucked, leaving Liquid likely to have 7 match points.
Yeah. And I think the story just sort of writes itself in this sense, Vince. We've gotten to the point of expectations. Over on Mirage, where Chaos made their stand, their map choice. They had all the pieces popping off. And even here on Inferno, we've got good individuals to talk about. But I see now why they started on the T side, because they could at least throw versus Liquid what they had prepared. And now that they're on the defensive half, they won the second pistol. They've won both pistols on this map and still only have 8 rounds, because outside of those pistols, it's just Team Liquid proving to be a force a step above their pay grade. Jonji, he's going to try his damnedest, as he has across this series. He deserves a tip of the hat, but he's so flashed, he has no clue where he's at. Zeppa falling back now, pressured by the consistency of this presence from Liquid up B. 4v4. Twist watches mid. They find Vanity inside of a smoke. He looks foolish now. And Leaf, well, he's gotten his 10th kill, but with an MP9 that's just gone dry, the A site's fully open.
A site open. Chaos falling down. Zeppa last man standing, but he has fallen additionally, and Liquid get it done. 16-8 victors.
16-8 victors, and kind of exactly what you'd hope to see, because now what we know, having just gotten our winners match, is that Furia are showing up as we expected. Team Liquid are very quickly starting to gel themselves together. We have genuine challengers in the likes of Chaos. ZPG earlier today gave us something to talk about, and it's just also primed. Let's just say it's writing itself, and while we have plenty of more action to come to you guys throughout this week, however, tonight, the show comes to a close. I mean, check out Vince. He dipped early. Guys, we've got the analysts after the break, and we'll see y'all soon.
A valiant effort from Chaos, but alas, it was not quite enough. Liquid sealed the deal on Inferno, and with that, Chaos dropped down into the lower bracket. But having said that, Christine, we've been saying all series long that Chaos should be proud of their performance. As Liquid, they are no easy feat.
They're not an easy feat, man. I mean, just look at Elige, his crosshair placement, his decision making, everything is top tier. Every single player, each individual, and that's what we always talk about when we speak about Liquid. I mean, Jason was telling me yesterday he saw Elige for the first time in the server, watching his point of view, and he's even more nutty watching him from that perspective than it is from these GoTV perspectives. So I can only imagine how much more we can see coming out of Liquid moving forward, because I mean, Stewie, I just had to call him out. This game alone, he went 6 for 0 in opening kills, had 5+ multi-kill rounds. So he absolutely just dominated all of Banana.
Yeah, those kills, just pulling them in here, sits on 22 frags to end this series. But I do want to, sing some of the praises from the side of Chaos, because we were talking about it a little bit, Maui, and you mentioned that aggression from Chaos on that T side of Inferno. Do you feel like that's something that initially kind of caught Liquid off guard?
Yeah, I think that Steel called a really good 5 rounds in the middle of that half, actually. One of the rounds in particular, just a fast set play towards A. He recognized that Liquid was beating his team in the default, so he called for a pretty fast play, some good supporting flashes, and I want to say it was Janji that was jumping in with a MAC-10 fearlessly, as always, and he just looked really good with that call. Janji looked good with that play. Steel, on top of that, he called a couple of fast Banana plays, a couple of plays that got Liquid out of rotation. He worked with the picks that players like Leaf were able to find in the default towards apartments. And because of all that, I mean, Steel, he made a case for himself as a leader, let that be said there. It's just that Liquid, when they broke the rounds down, when they slowed the game to their pace, they are going to come out on top. If you play to Liquid strengths, it's not going to look good.
Yeah, exactly, indeed. And speaking of which, I think it is about time we check in with one of the players from the Liquid side. It's, of course, going to be the man of the hour, and it is Grim. Thank you so much, Grim, for taking the time to chat with us. This was only the second time we've seen you on the Liquid side here at DreamHack Open Summer. How are you kind of finding your feet within the team? Because on the server, you're looking incredible.
Oh yeah, so it's really they're all really welcoming, and I fit in really well with the team because I get most of my spots, so it really helps there, feeling comfortable. After a couple of days of practice, the personalities mesh really well, and I mesh really well with the players, so it really helps.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. I feel like your synergy is just, so visual on the server there. And speaking of Moses as well, obviously a slightly newer addition to yourself than to the lineup rather. His role as coach, how has he kind of been helping you in particular as a player kind of gel into this team? I know he's only been on the side for a few days, but is there anything he's been bringing in?
Yeah, from the time we've worked with him, he has some really good tells about the teams we're playing, and he really helps keep the vibes positive, and that can help in games like the Tilted and whatnot. And yeah, I think he does really good work against the teams we're playing, and it helps a lot knowing some stuff that they're going to be doing just because Moose is the door. It helps a lot.
Yo, congrats, Mike, on making it to Liquid. You've been looking great so far. It's awesome to see you here. I want to talk about how you're playing at B Inferno. Especially on the CT side. I saw you were playing with Stewie a lot there. How is that an improvement maybe over some of your past teammates? You don't have to say maybe anything about any previous teammates or anything like that, but for example, when you were playing with Anthony working Banana, how does it feel different with the level of teammates that you have now?
It feels definitely better because it's like personally I have an issue with like making plans on the fly, so he does that a lot for me. Is like helping get an idea or a plan in a round of what we're gonna do to like take banana, and that helps a lot. And it's really just nice to have someone that has a voice in the round, especially like in intense high pressure situations. And it's definitely like that didn't happen before on some previous teams in the pressure situations. So it's really good to have someone experienced and really good at the game. Really lead me and get me better at B.
Grim, I know that you and Nitro share a lot of the same roles and positions on across the maps. Can you tell us, has there been any scenario across any of the maps you guys have practiced so far where you felt kind of out of your comfort zone, or where you had to go and do something that you normally haven't done on your past teams?
Yeah, so I'm Mirage. You saw us playing B, which is the first for me, so I'm still trying to learn it and get used to it. And I think it's been going well so far. Like they've shown me some like setups we can do, like what I should be looking for in rounds, like stuff like that. And I feel like the more scrims I get, the better I'll be at it. But that's definitely like out of the comfort zone for me for sure, because I've never played there before.
Well, we'll be seeing you go through straight to that semi-final matchup. But I kind of wanted to ask you about, your practice schedule within Liquid. How has it differed to some of the other teams that you've been in?
I can definitely say it's a lot more like serious, and there's a lot more like good ideas in practice instead of like just really some white noise. We also play we play longer than I normally did on previous teams, so it's also really nice to just iron everything out and make sure we're doing the right thing. And like watching demos as a team is something I haven't done before, and we're doing here. It's like really nice to like make sure everyone's on the same page in and out of the game, and knowing what we need to work on as well.
Well, it already looks like you guys are on the same page. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us, Grim, and congratulations again on that fantastic win.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yeah, congrats, man. Keep it up.
Always fantastic to hear from the man himself. We've been speaking about him a lot, but I feel like we didn't actually talk about him too much after that last map. But in Inferno, man, he really did show up. And Maui, there were so many, there were ample rounds where he was really pulling in the work for his team.
Oh yeah, I gotta definitely highlight the second round of their CT side. After they lose the pistol, they force up. Stewie sets him up with one good flashbang, and Grim, he takes out 3 players as fast as literally an aimbot could. I mean, it's how Steel mentioned it in the pregame, just that this guy is a human aimbot, and he showed it there.
He really did indeed. And I think, Christy, we were kind of talking about it as well. Actually, I think it was Connor who mentioned it during the game, that ability of Moses to really instill confidence in players. And I feel like that's where he really left his mark in this game, what he's been working on with Grim, because he seems so confident going into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it's just having that sixth voice, that voice of reason to just calm things down. Because as we mentioned, these Liquid players are all fully capable. They understand exactly what they need to do to win. So having that voice of reason, having someone to snap you out of the tunnel vision that we know that gamers do all the time and have a different perspective, that's powerful.
Well, it has been an absolutely fantastic day of matches here, and we have collated the top 5 plays of the day. So, Mao, I'm going to come to you first. Can you sort of set us up for what we're expecting for clip number 5?
All right, so the first one here is some excellent teamwork coming out from Zipug Gods. Infinite, a man known for his frags, is actually going to be setting up Dazzle with this one. Perfect flashbang, and Dazzle's able to take out all 3. Beautiful kill feed, as you can see. All of the kills assisted by Infinite's flash, but Dazzle, he hits the shot, of course.
Beautiful MP9 working with play number 4. This is Penny. We kept highlighting the fact that he was so willing and able to get in first, get involved, find those entries. And in this round in particular, he was the first man in and the last one to clean out the round to get that last kill here at the library side onto Marky and clutch out a crucial round.
All right, clip number 3, Keto's 4K at Banana on Inferno. This was just a really nice entry job from him, catching these first 2 players off guard, even kind of blind right there, and the third on top of that. Usually players won't even expect that, and he just keeps pressing on forward to find Teslas as well.
And with play number 2, it's Moose. We're moving back over to Mirage again. The AK work, this was all the way in overtime for Moose to come out with this 4-piece, so it was a crucial timing for him to come up huge.
All right, and the last play of the day, this was just the pistol round. Marky put in an exclamation point on their match against Triumph there. Despite all of the setbacks in the previous map, he was not going to let this one slip away, and he makes sure of it.
And of course, to round off those top 5 plays, we do have to select the MVP of the day. And Maui, we were discussing it a little bit, but we settled on Keto to take the spot today. Why was he so instrumental?
Man, Keto, it felt like when Big was in a tough situation, sometimes Keto was there to just bail them completely out. I think it didn't even make the top 5 plays. That's how high the level of competition was today. But he had a 4K and new box on that B bomb side. A couple of his teammates died earlier in the round, but he just deleted every player from Heroic as they were coming into that bomb site. And he was doing that with entry kills as well. We saw that. And all right, here's the clip right here. And yeah, just perfect stuff coming out from him. He was so instrumental in their victory today. Him and Sursen coming up from Sprout have really shook the German landscape.
Yeah, they have indeed. You can just see such smart plays coming out from Keto here, taking these peaks individually. It's what we like to see. And Christine, we're going to be seeing a lot more of Big going forward, aren't we?
Oh, we definitely are. And it just seems like Keto is ramping up more and more as he's getting more comfortable. It wasn't just until a couple events ago that we actually saw him bringing out the being that primary or secondary opera for this team. So slowly but surely, Big are starting to evolve and figure out exactly how much strength they have.
Yeah, we were talking about that double AWP setup earlier and how lethal it can be. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Big can bring later in the competition. And with that, it's time to take a quick recap of our groups to see exactly where today's results have left us. Group A here for EU. Of course, we saw Big take that win earlier today over Heroic. That cements them in the semi-finals on Saturday. That means, though, that Heroic does drop into the lower bracket and they're going to be facing Endpoint later. This isn't a match that we've actually seen, Christine, but I think this could shape up to be a big one.
Oh, it should be. It surely should be. Endpoint have been turning heads all weekend long. I think they're going to come out swinging. I mean, as they get more and more wins on the board, they're just going to get more confident in each other. And as we know, they've actually been working on that project for a little bit now.
Yeah, and then of course Group B over in EU. We didn't see any of these play out today, but we are going to be seeing them play out tomorrow. Our first game of the day is going to be Complexity versus OG. Maui, are you excited to be jumping into that one?
Oh yeah, absolutely. These were two of the strongest teams coming into this tournament, with the exception of Big, of course. And Complexity has looked so good lately. Whoever loses that one, though, is not in for an easy match. Forza has been looking good too, and they are waiting in that decider.
They have indeed. And then jumping over to the side of the table that we are finding ourselves on right now, it's NA. And of course, Group A action that we've just seen ensue. Liquid cementing themselves in that semi-final. Chaos have now dropped down to face the Pug Gods. And I think after what we've seen as the Pug Gods today, you know, their kind of unexpected nature, I'm wondering, Christine, what are you kind of making of that match with Chaos going against them?
It's going to be tough, right? It's going to be super challenging because I think the Pod Gods, they do rely on their individual skill more so than Chaos. We know Chaos, they've been on the grind, they've been working on their teamwork, and they put up a really good fight versus a strong Liquid here today. So that should be a spicy matchup, that domestic NA rivalry for sure.
It will be indeed. That's going to be the final game that we're seeing tomorrow. But of course, hopping over to Group B, that's going to be the second game we are seeing on our screens tomorrow. It's going to be Furia versus Team One. Now, I am very excited to see Furia take to the stage. You know me, Christine. I love watching Art. I love watching his aggressive plays. And I feel like their matchup against you know, you were saying they were trying to replicate that style. So I'm wondering, do you think there might be some surprises that Furia are bringing to the table?
I think so, for sure, especially because Team One, they're like a slightly upgraded version of and brought the fire in that series. So I think Team One is certainly going to bring the fire as well. And Furia, I mean, Art, you know he's going to be just as aggressive.
It's been an absolutely fabulous day here, guys. I think all there is left to say is thank you so much to our sponsors, Corsair, Monster Energy, and Intel for helping make DreamHack Open Summer happen. And thank you both for joining me on the desk. It's been such a pleasure today. I've had so much fun. And of course, more fun to come tomorrow. That's not all you'll be seeing of us. We'll be back here at 3:30 CST for more top-tier Counter-Strike action. Of course, some more winners matches along the way, alongside some crucial deciders. It's going to be an incredible day tomorrow. Make sure you're joining us right here, same time, same place. It's good night from us.